All right, I'd like to welcome you to the June 5th, 2024 Architecture Review Committee meeting. Committee members present: Patrick Tregenza, Justin Pauly, Eric Palmer, and Shelley Schmidt. City staff present: Spencer Argenbright and Fernanda Rivera. Spencer, would you like to Rivera? Roveri, sorry, I knew that. Spencer, would you like to let people know how they can chime in if they wish to?
Yes, information on participating in this meeting and providing public comment, including remotely by Zoom or telephone, is on this meeting's agenda, which is online at isearchmonterey.org. Remote commenters will be muted until it is their turn to speak, and the timer will be shown on the screen. If you are connected on Zoom, the timer is accurate with no delay. Thank you for participating in your city government.
Great, thanks. There's two items on our consent agenda today, both minutes from May 1st, 2024 and May 15th, 2024. Does anybody have any comments on the consent agenda?
Move to approve.
There are no attendees with their hands raised online.
Okay, so we have a motion to approve. Do I hear a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Thank you. All right, we're going to move on to item number 4. Consider 22 Garden Road sign permit application. Fernanda, would you like to give a presentation? Got it.
All right, thank you, Chair. My name is Fernanda Roveri, Principal Planner, and we will be discussing a sign application at 2200 Garden Road. The staff recommendation is to approve the application with conditions. The property is located on Garden Road on the south side at 2200. The zoning is IR 130 RAES MF. It's the industrial zone of the city. This property was approved for a use permit and variance at a planning commission meeting in order to convert the building to an animal services use, a veterinary pet hospital called Blue Pearl Monterey. And so a use permit was required for that. The pet hospital would be open 24/7, providing emergency and specialty services. Up to 66 animals under care. And so they want to have signage, obviously, to alert visitors and emergency vehicles of the location of the pet hospital. 2 wall signs and 1 freestanding sign facing Garden Road. The wall sign would say Blue Pearl Pet Hospital, and the other one would say 24/7 Pet ER, and they would be illuminated by halo lighting. So the lighting would be around the letters, but not inside the letters. And this is what it would look like from Garden Road. The entrance to the building is between those 2 wall signs. The freestanding sign would say Blue Pearl Pet Hospital Emergency 24/7. It would be 6 feet tall. Would face Garden Road. It's inconsistent with the sign guidelines in that the frontage of the building is 200 feet, but the sign guidelines allow half a square foot of sign area per linear foot of building frontage. So that would only allow 100 square feet of signage. And the proposal is 118.34 square feet. It's also inconsistent in that it exceeds the maximum number of lumens per the sign guidelines. The guidelines say the maximum is 10 lumens of LED lighting per linear foot of frontage. And it exceeds it a lot. So for the total would be 14,465. And the building only has 200 feet of frontage, meaning you would only be allowed to have 2,000 lumens of LED lighting. So it would exceed it by more than 12,000 lumens. And these are conditions recommended by staff. The plans actually show the location of the freestanding sign on city property. So the recommendation is to move it to private property on 2200 Garden Road property, and to install dimmers for the illumination so that if the signs end up being too bright and, obstructing traffic, staff can request that it be lowered in brightness. And the findings for approval is that the signage, although it exceeds the maximum square footage recommended, it is appropriate for the building because it serves to identify the hospital. And the building is set back a rather large distance from Garden Road, so the signage, the size is makes sense for it to be visible for vehicles and pedestrians. The signs are compatible and achieve the purposes and objectives of the sign ordinance in that the nature of the business is an ER for pets, so it makes sense to have signage that is well lit and that they're legible as well. It's consistent with the general plan in that the signs are appropriate for this large use, and the lighting would have no uplighting. So it's staff recommendation that the ARC approve the application with the stated conditions. I'm here available for questions, and the sign maker and owner representative are online.
Thank you, Fernanda. Are there any committee questions for Fernanda?
I have one question. These signs would be illuminated 24 hours a day?
So I would imagine yes, because it is open 24/7. Yeah.
All three signs would be 24 hours a day.
Yes.
Any other questions?
Fernanda, about how far away, or I don't know if you know it, is this building site from some of the proposed residential projects that we've seen? Do you know what the closest one would be?
2000 Garden Road and 2300 are very close, either the next door or 2 doors down from this one.
Thank you.
But they're on the same side of the street.
Yes.
Any other questions? Does committee have any comments? All right, so
Could you allow the applicant and
Yeah.
owners to
Yeah.
talk?
So we'd like to let the applicant have a chance to speak. So can you unmute yourself, and Spencer, you can ask him to.
We have a Matt Noor as the property owner representative.
Okay.
You should be able to unmute yourself now.
Can you hear us?
Yes, good afternoon. Matt Noor with the Orozco Group. Thank you.
Yeah, go ahead and let us know your what you want to do here.
Yeah, so as the property owner, when the Herald newspaper vacated the premises, we had the opportunity to work with Blue Pearl to backfill the space. They're a very important tenant and business in our community, taking care of the health needs of our furry friends, all our animals and pets. Garden Road, and our building in particular, is somewhat set back from the street. We are probably over 75 feet back from the public right-of-way. So the signage requirement and visibility and wayfinding is very important for our tenant. We agree with the staff's conditions of approval. And in regards to adjacent residences, the signage is facing the street, not the adjacent properties. So we don't have a concern about glare or a nuisance visual issues. In addition to that, to the west is 2000 Garden Road. There's existing office buildings that will block any signage views. And then to the east, which is 2300 Garden Road, there is a large vacant portion of our site that has significant pine oak trees. So the direct visibility again is further limited to any of the sign impacts. The other question that came up was the signs will be on a photo cell. So they are only on during, evening hours, if you will, for saving electricity and being energy conscious. There's no need for the signs to be illuminated during business hours, during daytime hours, if you will. With that, I hope you support this application. I'm here to answer any additional questions from the ownership side, and I believe the tenant and their sign vendor is also available. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Noor. Are there any committee questions for the property owner? Okay, great. So Spencer, can you move down the list and if you could keep your comments brief, that would be fantastic. Thanks.
There are currently no attendees with their hands raised.
Okay, are there any other public comments on this item? There's nobody in our chambers. All right, I'd like to open it up for committee comments. I have a dog. I love my dog. And if he got hit by a car, I would really want to find that place quick.
Yeah.
It's not like it's a miniature golf place or something. It's like this is doing some pretty serious work, and I think it's really important that they have adequate signage. I think having a dimmer is a good idea, because if at least there's like, all right, this is an eyesore. People are complaining. We need to put some some sort of limit on how many lumens you guys can have. But I think that's a good thing to have them add for sure. Any other comments?
Yeah, I just somewhat agree with that. I think it was about a year or two ago that I had, my daughter's cat got hit by a car, and I was driving around at 3 a.m. It's like you want to find it, and I get the need for lighting too. I think it's important that staff has put that sort of check in there that it's dimmable. So if we do have a problem, I get that it can be dark on that street, but it's also, a strip of land in between a highway and an airport. It's pretty intensive usage around there. So I'd be tempted to, even though it's an egregious sort of increase in lumens, I'd be inclined to allow it.
Other comments? All right, I move to approve item 4, 2200 Garden Road sign permit application SI-24-0011. Any other comments? Before we vote, all those in favor?
Second.
Oh, sorry. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. Thank you, everybody, for that. Is there any planning office updates?
Nothing other than what's on the agenda for you.
I move to adjourn. Thank you, everybody. I didn't mean to rush through that, but he's got a meeting at 5.